This is a mid-range gaming board with an AM4 socket and DDR4 memory support. So we can try to power it on, and we have LED light up. And wow. I guess that I heard a sound like something is burning. Hi everyone, today on the bench we have an ASUS ROG Strix B450-F gaming motherboard. This is a mid-range gaming board with an AM4 socket and DDR4 memory support. The board came to me with a no-post issue, and at the moment I have no idea what exactly is wrong with it. So let's take a look together and try to find and hopefully fix whatever problem is hiding here. As usual, we'll start with resistance measurements and go step by step from there. Okay, so 3.3 volts, and we have 600 ohms. Okay, nice. 5 volts, 1.46 kilo ohms. 12 volts, kilo ohms. 5 standby, 20 kilo ohms. It's good. Minus 12. We have mega ohms as usual. Okay, what coils we have here? This is probably 2.5 volts memory power, and we have kilo ohms here. What else? Here is probably 5 volts or 3 volts, or maybe 1.05 volts power line for PCH. It's 0.6 kilo ohms, 600 ohms. We cannot measure resistance on V-core and SOC voltages because there's a closed coils. So let's measure 12 volts. And I guess we have kilo ohms here. We need to measure the 12 volts to V-core. There's a small crystal here, and the capacitor near this crystal is actually a V-core. So we can try to measure, and we have mega ohms here, and this should be in ohms range, even kilo ohms. So this one is SOC voltage, and if we measure to 12 volts, there's a kilo ohms, and to ground, mega ohms. Nice. So we can try to power it on and to see what will be the current consumption. Okay, we will use Ryzen 3200G AM4. So let's see. Okay, we have 80 milliamps and we have LED light up, which is a good sign. So let's try to power it on. And wow. Okay. So this is 100 watts. There's more than 10 amps. Whoa. And I guess that I heard a sound like something is burning. Wow. Unbelievable. Okay, let's look at the terminal camera. What do we have here? Try to power it on. Oh, whoa. There is something here. All right. Let's look at this closer. Oh, yeah. Okay. So what I guess is this MOSFET. But it could be a reaction to a short, because the MOSFET itself is actually have a good look. So let's inspect the other side of the board. Ooh. Here we go. That's where it is. Oh, this is a definitely hot area here. So let's try to look at this under the microscope. What a temperature it was. This cap is basically melted. Do you see this? Wow. Okay, let's check with the multimeter. Do we have a short? I guess it's shorted. Yes, it's a dead short. This is not. This is definitely a short. Okay. And this is a cap of 2.5 volts of the DDR memory. Let's remove this cap and see if short is gone. Okay, let's see if the short is gone. And you see, the short is gone. If we measure resistance on this line, so now we have mega ohms, 6.9, 10 ohms. Let's try to power it on without that cap and see if it helped. Milliamps. Now, let's try to power it on. And it's much better. So we have a debug LEDs. This is good. Okay, so we are booting. Let's try to connect the capture screen. Okay, I connected the capture screen. Now power on. And pressing the power button. So we'll have a post screen right now. Let's boot. And VGA, and now boot. Will we have a post screen? And we do. Finally. Okay. So that was the easy repair. Just one cap. Let's solder the caps on. So let's remove the remainings of that cap. Both caps, this cap and this cap, are 10 microfarads in 805 package caps. They're just for filtering purposes. task is to make it solid than it was, not to lose it again, right? So I completely understand that if someone will hit the board on the back, so probably you can knock off any component. But you know, when there's much more solder joined than it was, it's much more hard to knock off. Okay, guess that's it. Okay, so let's power it on with the caps and let's see. So we'll show the pulse screen and I will show the current consumption. We have pressing power button. Let's see, we should have a pulse screen here. All right. The BIOS on this board is from 2023, so it definitely needs an update. Installing a newer version, ideally from 2025, helps improve CPU compatibility, memory stability, and overall system behavior. Alright, the update is complete, and the board is now working. Next, we'll test all the remaining interfaces, including PCI Express, SATA, USB, and the other onboard ports to make sure everything functions as expected. Based on the diagnostics, the main issue appears to have been a shorted capacitor. This is actually a best-case scenario on motherboard repair. A shorted cap usually fails without damaging surrounding circuitry, and once it's removed or replaced, the board often recovers fully. Using a current-limited bench power supply is especially important here. It allows us to safely power the board, locate the shorted components by abnormal heating, and fix the problem without forcing excessive current through the circuit, avoiding further damage and the need for more invasive troubleshooting methods. Okay, that's it for today. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching and thank you for all the warm and supportive comments. I'll see you in the next video.